What if you never told your best friend because you're afraid it may end the friendship? I never told my friend that I know that her and her boyfriend used to steal food from my house. Her boyfriend at the time basically stole from everyone and was always getting fired from work for stealing from the till. The bit that upsets me is that she knew full well that if she needed food, I'd have given it to her. She didn't need to steal the stuff. She ditched that boyfriend, which is why we're still friends. And she doesn't steal from me anymore. Pride does strange things to a person. Not excusing the behavior, screwing friends over is very not okay. Just glad that she's improved at least since moving on from the primary influence. That she's a disaster with money and she needs to stop spending and take a hard look at how she's fricking her future. Although she's got a solid pension coming, but still she's had multiple bankruptcies. Multiple. SMH. That she is impulsive, irrational and does not make good decisions. I love her and she's very fun to be around, but it gets annoying and draining at times. I think her eyebrows are too thin and I'm 99% sure if her husband isn't currently cheating on her, he has and will again. Also, her husband passed the alcoholic stage of problem drinking a long while back and it's starting to affect how her kids see him. 0 to 100. Chameleon is not pronounced Charmeleon. Number. You call them right now and tell them that he gets too worked up about games and that's why I don't play with him very often. Great guy, just don't play Overwatch with him. I think he's a lazy greasy frick whose main problem in life is that he holds himself back by being lazy and greasy. Great guy though. Jesus Christ, you did a good job selling him. She is full of crap about her psychic powers. She's way too clingy and needy. When she finally cut ties with her mentally abusive ex, I packed all of her things and loaded up a large U-Haul to get her moved by myself. She sat around the entire time crying, repeating I can't do this while I did it. It's been about 2 months and I just now found out that 3 weeks ago she started talking to a new man whom she is already telling she loves. It will end badly. I know it will and I just can't pick up the pieces again. She literally becomes the most annoying person alive when she drinks. Her husband and I have made a team effort of watering down any drink she has just to avoid gatherings where one of us had to listen to her ramble. You should tell her so she stops. Haha. The night my best friend met his now wife of 18 years, I met her about an hour before and she blew me in bathroom at the party we were all at. I saw them making out an hour later after I went to buy cigarettes. I never said a word and neither has she. You could get him to blow you and ask if it tastes familiar. I fricked his sister. Not sure if it'd end the friendship, but he'd be weirded out. My best friend in HS told me that he'd fricked my sister. I only questioned his taste in women. I think her kid's an idiot. Cute, but an idiot. Don't we all? I never told my friend that I found out it was him that broke into my place. This occurred back in the 1970s when I was a kid. My family and I lived in the second floor apartment of a 2-family apartment house. Our apartment was a strange one as in addition to our front door, we had several other doors that led to different rooms to our apartment. One day my mother, myself, brother, and sister went out. When we came back home, all our doors were wide open. We entered our apartment and our place was a mess. All of our stuff was all over the place. Every room was a mess. Like a burglar who tore through our apartment, tossing everything aside. There was no forced entry. We accidentally left one of our doors unlocked. In spite of our stuff being tossed around, nothing was broken. We were dirt poor, so we had nothing of value worth stealing. The most expensive thing we owned in our place was our 25-inch color TV and a wooden console, but that was way too big and heavy to steal. Nothing in our place was stolen. We called the cops who came over and made a report. Weeks later I was talking to another kid in the neighborhood who out of the blue told me how he and my best friend, who lived a few houses up the block from me, came calling on me when I wasn't home. They discovered the unlocked door and as a prank were the ones who opened all the doors and went through our apartment messing it up, tossing our things willy-nilly all over the place. I never told my friend, or anyone else, that I found out that it was him that went into my place and messed it up. But I was a little disappointed in him, and he never came forward and confessed to me. Never said anything about it. He never knew that I knew. Today that same kid is an internationally renowned classical pianist. The only way to get back at him is to change the order of the keys on his piano. Had a bit of a crush on a chick. Okay, more than a bit. She was married, so it was a hopeless infatuation. Found out 6 months later, they weren't married, but engaged. They told people that they were married for convenience. I made friends with her husband. He was a crap lord. Everyone, even she knew it. A couple of months later, he and a few buddies beat the ever-loving crap out of a guy. She accused her husband but he vehemently denied it. She knew there was bad blood in the group and demanded that he not get involved. He told her he didn't. She believed him. I have an old email account running around. It is useful for sending anonymous emails. So I did. I pointed out every person that was involved. I sent it to her, not because of her husband but because she was an executive in the company that they both work for. It had the appearance of someone on the outside with a grievance with the company and no one in particular. She confronted him. He denied at first, but then admitted to it. They had a huge argument. We're married now, me and her, not him. She doesn't know I sent the email. Now that's the juicy story I came here for. I feel like this could be a daytime drama. So a long time ago, we were probably 10-12ish. My sister and I were jealous of our neighbor having a pool party and we weren't invited. So we found a dead squirrel in the street and we picked it up with a barbecue grill we found on the side of the road and put it on her front doorstep with a note saying "This will be you." We ran home and told our dad because we thought dad was cool. Turns out he totally knocked us out to mom. Mom flipped out and told us to go back and get rid of it. So we did. We came home and my mom had her purse and jacket on and told us to get in the car. She told us a neighbor saw what we did and called the police and we had to go down to the station. We were crying in the car and my mom drove us down the road then stopped. She told us she made up the story about the police and it was a lesson never to do anything like that again. We didn't. We're still friends with our neighbor and we never told her about it. That was almost 20 years ago. I like the way your mom works. They know my memory is bad, but what I'd never tell them is that it's so bad I genuinely believe I'll suffer from dementia at a young age. I forget key details and memories pertaining to the ones I love, and I've honestly just become good at faking my way through conversations to try to seem like I'm a functional person. You are a freaking idiot for jumping into this marriage, and I knew from the very second that I heard you got married that she would abuse you both emotionally and physically. First one then the other. You are a desperate freaking idiot who would marry the first person who would promise to put out. Right now as I type this, you are sitting in a jail cell because she threw your belongings on the floor and destroyed your computer. This time when she started hitting you, you defended yourself by pushing, and you're in a freaking jail cell because all you wanted was to get laid. You are a freaking idiot. Now she is threatening to destroy my marriage and threatened to put Emmy in jail because I tried to help you hire a divorce attorney. But she isn't going to be able to because my fiance and I built our relationship on trust and love, not on how am I going to get laid on the regular. Sorry, this has been on my chest for the last few hours. I hope everything works out for the best. I never told her she saved me from killing myself last October. I drop traded his set of Full Rune and Black G to myself in 3rd grade. Non-members. You monster. We're not that close of friends anymore, but I hooked up a few times with a friend's mom. I was 22 at the time. My friend was 18 or 19, and his mom was in her late 30s. She got drunk one night while I was over hanging out, and after everyone else crashed, she came over and started flirting with me. We only hooked up 4 or 5 times, but it was amazing, and now I've been into older women ever since. Pretty sure he'd at least punch me in the jaw if he ever found out. Just make I freak your mum insults whenever convenient. That way you can always claim you told him several times, should he ever accuse you of such. This may not ruin the friendship, but would make it extremely awkward. In high school, I needed my friend's backup phone to film a school project. So he gave it to me and I took it home to upload and edit the video. And for some reason that I cannot explain, I decided to take some pictures of myself using his phone. And being a teenage boy, the pictures may not have been completely appropriate. So the next day he tells me that he saw the video I recorded for the project. He said he saw it on iCloud or whatever it is. He didn't mention if he saw the other pictures I took later, but I'm fairly sure he did. So I guess in this case, He's the one who isn't telling me something. Maybe him bringing up seeing the video was his way as letting you know. I never straight out told him that he's becoming just like his dad, was a union worker, got in a fight, was kicked out of the union and never bothered getting another job. Basically his mom had 3 helpless men, my friend, brother, and dad, sucking the life out of this poor woman. They don't clean up the house. My friend wasn't doing his own laundry and was over 18. Dropped out of college, even though due to his family's financial situation, the Pell Grant would have covered almost everything. I moved to another state to get residency and get a cheaper quality education. I pleaded with him to come move down and get into school. I had a place for him to stay and could have gotten him a job. He said no every time. We haven't spoken in 5 years. Last time I checked he still works at his mom's cleaning company as a janitor. That I wrote erotic/fiction about us online. Only somewhat apply, but with my last best friend it was telling him that I had feelings for him. We're not friends anymore. I regret ever having those feelings. Don't regret feeling. Not feeling is way worse. You took a chance, it didn't work out. Crap happens. Keep your chin up and try again when you're ready. It's okay to be sad about it, but don't let sadness rule your life. I was staying at my friend's house who are a couple. One morning I woke up early because I always do. The door to their bathroom area was open more than usual because of a cat. My female friend walks out naked and I just watched as she went to the bathroom to shower. I know I should have looked away or shut the door earlier, but I was too mesmerized seeing her naked and didn't want to move. I'm still close friends with both of them and don't have the heart to tell them. Username most definitely checks out. I fricked his little sister in high school. He considers himself to be more enlightened than others, but turns into a watered down version of himself whenever he's in a relationship. This newest bee is the worst yet. She's convinced him to go off of his depression meds, stop going to therapy, and withdraw from his friends. We used to see each other multiple times a week. I understand that relationships change your priorities, but he doesn't even text me anymore, and when I hit him up he's always busy because she has him on a schedule. Dude, we've been best friends since high school. This is bull. Every time I've tried to talk about it he either gets defensive or admits there needs to be a change, but then nothing happens. Grumble. I have the biggest crush on her and it's driving me crazy. I'm in the exact opposite situation. My friend has a crush on me and she has no idea that I know. I don't want him to know I still have a crush on him. The only reason we're so close is because I was attracted to him when we met and tried to flirt, which turned into friendship when he told me he wasn't single. He seems to think I got over the stupid crush a while ago, but it's always been there, even when I've had brief things with other people. He's a very understanding person, but I think this might be a little too much. My BF has a friend like this. She clearly has feelings for him and is not upfront about it, and to be honest it's terrible. It's the only issue my BF and I argue about, and it's something that hurts all 3 of us. I won't tell you what to do, just telling you how the other side may feel. That the girl he hooked up with at his 27th birthday party was an escort we hired so he would stop complaining about being a virgin. I ended up telling him and it was one of the hardest days of my life. When we were in high school I had a close friend that I introduced him to. They hit it off and started dating for about a year and it was all going well until he left for college and their relationship started getting strained and they ended up breaking up. I wasn't planning on going to college right away and ended up working at Borders saving up money. All of my friends were off at college making new friends and I felt really lonely. She and I were still friends and hanging out. It ended up becoming more than that and she and I started dating in secret. It was a long time before I worked up the courage to tell him that I was dating her. The day I did, I made sure we had an awesome day before in case he hated me for it and didn't want to talk to me after. At least that way I had the memory of a great day with my friend. He ended up being okay with it and was glad that I told him instead of him finding out some other way. She and I only lasted about a year and a half, but me and him are still best friends to this day. She isn't just unlucky in that she keeps choosing crappy men as partners, it's her own bad choices. She's one of the best people I know. Big heart, kind, I was even roommates with her and a past guy she dated, and I saw their relationship up close, and she was a great girlfriend. She isn't one of those people who secretly does crappy things to anger her partners. I could practically hear every whisper in that place. But she's also one of those suckers who falls over and over and over again for love bombing. Every new guy is perfect and then she's shocked when, actually, no, he isn't, because she made the judgment too soon and somehow didn't learn from the last bazillion guys who also faked perfection while pushing to move too fast. And she's a decade older than me. At least she isn't so bad of a sucker as to stay with them once they show their colors. She's able to break up when she realizes, but it would save her a lot of heartache to start with more wisdom from day one. I fricked her husband before he was a husband. We weren't super close then. My wife has a similar story, but she drunkenly spilled the beans at the wedding rehearsal dinner. That she's overweight, vastly so, because of her own dang fault. She blames genetics, stress, and other things, but it's because she's lazy and won't fix her health issues. She's found a nurse practitioner who believes her crap, and I hate it. She also berates me for having lost most of my extra weight, over 100 pounds, due to a health issue I have zero control over, and tells me I'm anorexic. I won't tell her what to do with her health. That I lost my virginity to his older sister, and she was most of my firsts. Kiss, seeing, feeling boobs, BJ, freaking etc. He would have been super peed that it was his sister, and also that I lost my virginity so long before him and never told him. She was cool, we were just experimenting and were not interested in each other romantically, but she was young, frisky and curious. We were discreet, but I'm shocked that we never got caught and no one suspected a thing. We were on a road trip and shared a room at a layover, separate beds. He thought I was asleep, so he decided to jerk off. It was kind of loud, and I know he made a mess at the end because he said all crap and went to the bathroom to clean up. I wasn't asleep, but I was mildly traumatized. That I'm in love with him. I'm female, he's male. For me the risk is far too great of our wonderful friendship never being the same again if he does not have such feelings for me. Would rather not risk it. That I will report them to CPS if they ever take on another foster child. They were so horrible to the one they had and it just broke my heart for him. He was a toddler, he didn't deserve to be hated for acting like a toddler. That I have no interest in her constant thrilling accounts of being a stay-at-home mom. I hate kids and think they're the most boring thing on earth. I would never tell her that, because I absolutely love her to pieces and I do love her kids. I just don't think they're at all interesting. Plus it would just be rude to say that. My life isn't all that interesting either, so I'll just smile and nod politely until I can steer the convo to more common ground. Your good friend. That I fall asleep at least one night a week imagining stabbing him to death while we frick. That would do it alright. You've been spotted by the doggo of studying. Like this video for good grades for the next 2 years. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.